You've played with a number of superstars for this franchise. I'm curious with what you've seen from Jimmy Butler, not only this season, but in the last couple of years. Where does he sort of sit, or what comparisons do you make to the attitude, the mindset of what he brings to the table?
I mean, all the great players that I've played with, the one thing that they all had in common that they, were two-way players. Jimmy plays both sides of the ball. He plays offense and he plays defenses just as well as he plays offense. And it's hard to really lead a good defensive team if your best player doesn't defend. So I think he sets the tone with us for that. And just the mentality and the competitive nature of Jimmy is right up there with all the guys that I played with. It's right up there with the LeBrons and the Shaqs and, the Dwayne Wades and Alonzo Mourning. His competitive nature is, equal or if not higher than those guys.
Yeah, and competitive nature, I wanted to touch on that because we see you, and it might be getting into a teammate, it might be getting into Jimmy Butler, that competitiveness on the bench, and it seems to drive this whole team. It seems like his personality fits you and what you've brought to this team for so long.
Yeah, we really don't get into, what's on paper.
Yeah.
I think if we focus what's on paper, 90% of our team wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
So we're guys who really focus on the work that we put in, and we believe in the work and we trust the work. And like I said, we believe that in between these lines, when it's about competition, I think that's when we're at our best.
I want to ask you about Caleb Martin. Obviously a massive postseason, but particularly in the conference finals. And again, you kind of mentioned it, but all these guys have been getting the attention for being the undrafted players. But they've done the work and they've been in the league for a number of years. What have you seen from someone like Caleb to have that moment in that scene in the conference finals?
I just remember back to when training camp first started, and Caleb getting used to a new role, playing the four for us when he's been a three-man, and just the frustration for him, just trying to be the right player that we need him to be, and also be himself, and just figure all those things out and have that balance. And he stuck with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He trusted in the system, he trusted in the coaching staff, he trusted in everything that we were preaching, and he wants to win. So everything you see Caleb doing as a guy who's going out there guarding the best player on the other end and making all those shots, we're not running any plays for Caleb. That's just Caleb being an X factor. That's Caleb being Caleb. I think every team in the NBA, if you're serious about winning a championship, you need a guy like Caleb Martin.
And throughout your career, it wasn't given to you. You've spoken a lot about how you've had to work to get where you were and have the career you have. You have so many guys that have been in similar situations. As your career has gone on, what do you say to these guys when they come into the Miami Heat franchise about what it takes to persevere and get to where they eventually want to get to?
I just continue to be the example. I continue to be the example for these guys. If you look at the body of work that I put in, it's all been based on overachieving and overcoming obstacles and odds that people really didn't give me a chance. So when these guys come in here, I make the same point to these guys. Doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what happens on paper. You put the work in, and you can be where I'm at. Three championships, leading rebound in the organization. This is an organization that really values hard-working guys. And when you come here, you're going to have equal opportunity to step out there and play, but you got to earn it.
Your career and it gets spoken about a lot. You've spoken about your leadership, and my question is, you could have gone into the front office. You could have done different things. You've spoken about those interests moving forward. Why have you decided to continue with the grind and the physical toll and the travel and being around the team on a daily basis?
Because I still contribute to winning. As long as I contribute to winning, then I'm all right with that. You see all these guys coming here, and we talk about the guys that have had different backgrounds. It's just different from the NBA. It's not different from me. I relate to these guys. You know what I'm saying? So I think when people come into this organization, they talk about Heat culture, and you talk about all the great players that we have had here. Heat culture is more relatable to the guys that had to work. You know what I'm saying? And overcome, odds just to be in this position. I kind of tell our guys, we got to work twice as hard just to sit at the table with the common man. And that's the attitude that we have when we come in undrafted. You got to work twice as hard to sit at the table with the common man.
Now, I know it's going to be very strange for me watching the Miami Heat next season and you're not in uniform. When you get to the final series of what has been such a long career, how does that sit with you right now?
Oh, man. Like I say, I'm looking for that balance of soaking it in,
yeah.
All the memories, all the moments, enjoying them. But I'm going to be honest with you. None of it matters, to me, if you don't win. I tell my guys all the time, the only time it becomes enjoyable if you win it. On the ride, on the way, pushing through, it's not a very enjoyable journey. But if you win it, it's the most memorable thing you'll ever be a part of.
Man, I appreciate you, and we appreciate your time on Nothing But Net.
Thank you.